Okay, there is a downpouring of rain near Farpoint Studio. Thought I'd give you a look at our new chicken run. We have 5 hens who are all laying eggs. 2 of them are what are called Easter eggers, which lay blue eggs, which is kind of fun. Anyway, we have something from the original series for you as we go in order. Miri, after this. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd, and we're inside my office right now where I do my editing of these videos just to keep from getting the equipment wet, taking it out to the studio. But in this episode of Star Trek Miri, this is the first episode where they had an Earth parallel. That way they didn't have to worry about doing any kind of special graphics for a planet, but rather just a representation of Earth, probably out of stock footage. And that way they could also use some backlot sets. If you look closely, you'll find that the surroundings of that city are actually the outdoor set of the Andy Griffith Show. Was also used for the original TV series Superman. There's an alleyway where Superman used to change out of Clark Kent and fly away. And also you can see in the distance at least the courthouse where Andy Taylor's office was, where the drugstore was, the barber shop, all of this kind of stuff, pretty much in plain view. It's made to look old and abandoned in this particular thing, but just set dressing. You'll find that this back lot, which existed until just a few years ago, was used for a number of things, including Desperate Housewives. There's a part of it that was a neighborhood that did Desperate Housewives and Leave It to Beaver and I think Bewitched even. But at any rate, there are a couple of things to note about this episode of Miri. First of all, the 2 main guest stars were Kim Darby and Michael J. Pollard. Now, if you haven't heard of them, Kim Darby was co-star with John Wayne in True Grit, one of his biggest movies. And then Michael J. Pollard has been a character actor ever since about 1959, and because of his short stature he was able to play people younger than him. In fact, by the time this episode was done, he was probably about 25 and continued to play younger characters until he got fairly old. He worked all the way up to about a year before his death in 2019. At any rate, he made many movies, including Scrooged with Bill Murray and various other many 70s, 80s, and 90s films. Anyway, the whole idea behind this is that the Enterprise responds to a distress call. The distress call was automated, and the planet is inhabited only by children because the adults have all died of a mysterious disease. And the disease was caused by a experimentation hundreds of years ago that this planet tried for life extending. And in fact, the lives of the youngsters were in fact extended. There were children that were 300 years old before they got into puberty. But once that happened, they caught this disease and died a violent death. This, of course, starts to happen to all of our people, the landing party, which is most of the senior crew members. Of course, Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and a couple of red shirts who don't die, surprisingly, in this episode, and Yeoman Rand, one of her last appearances. And in this, once again, she is the victim. She is kidnapped. She is tied up. She is Captain, I'm scared kind of things. It's possible that despite the fact that the producers had said for later consumption that she was fired from the show because she wasn't keeping her weight down or because she was taking drugs, things like this may or may not have been the reason. The main reason is they seem to have typecast her into the damsel in distress. And in the 23rd century, you'd think you'd be up on beyond this helpless woman trope that they were mostly doing for her. So that's how it's all set up. This is one of Kirk's biggest speeches to date, where he tells the children in his own inimitable way of they're all going to die unless the Enterprise crew can help. There's no Starfleet at this time. They're still calling it Space Control. And one other thing that, once again, in keeping with 60s sexism, the captain says at the end of the episode, I don't get involved with older women. So that's Miri. It holds up reasonably well, but mostly because of the performances by Kim Darby and Michael J. Pollard, and the first Earth parallel, the first big speech. Beyond that, it's kind of a middling episode. But that is our original series episode for this week. We'll continue next week with episode 10, Dagger of the Mind. We hope you'll join us then. Until then, hope that you'll subscribe to the channel, and until next time, don't go far.